you started your journey as mentalist, magician, everything else very early in life.
Yeah.
Were you like naturally someone who gravitated towards it, and how did that whole thing happen for you?
A lot of times when I hear about myself, I hear things like, oh, you know, she was born with magic and how बचपन से ही उसको आता था यार कुछ तो देवी शक्ति है, कुछ बच्चे ही पैदा हो जाते हैं वैसे. And I'm like, it took me 10 months of proper rehearsals to do my first show. And I remember the time when I saw the first magic act on television and I was like, ah, like this little kid, you know, the eyes have shown, like I'm just like, ye kaise hua? You know, how every kid gets excited towards magic, I guess.
Yeah.
I think not kid, everybody gets
Everybody,
excited, you know. But I was not just excited watching it. I wanted to perform. I want to be that person who's like doing these magical things. But I was too small. I was 6. When I walked up to my father and I told him, Papa, mujhe jadoo karna hai. You know, it's like, look, I come from a family that doesn't even watch television. तो entertainment field से हमारा दूर दूर तक कोई नाता नहीं है. And suddenly I go and say, I want to do magic. And you're like, what is this? You know, I've got very encouraging parents. So it was not like कि तू नहीं कर सकती या अभी मत कर या ऐसा कुछ. It was just like, देखते. You know, because I'm also somebody who would go and say 10 things in the day.
True.
So he was like, how serious is Suhani about it, you know, for my dad? And then I walked up to him again after, I think, few days. And then I walked up to him again after a few days. And I kept walking up to him till I didn't convince him that I'm serious about what I'm saying. And once he got convinced, like my job was only to convince my father. Because I know once my father's convinced, he'll do everything for it to make it happen for me. And that's what happened. When he got convinced that she can actually do what she's saying and she's really serious about the art form, then, of course, the search started to find somebody to teach. It's very difficult to find somebody to teach. Now you still have YouTube, internet, you have some courses out there. I'm talking about where the computers just come to India. You know, DOS pe kaam karte the, if you know the DOS bit. So, वो आया ही था. And so finding somebody was very difficult. In fact, we walked up to a few magicians who disagreed to teach and we were very surprised. Now I understand it better. That time I was very discouraged as to why are they not teaching me. Now I understand it better because an art form like magic should not be taught. You know, it should be learned the way I learned it. And only then you deserve to be a magician is what I feel. Like magic should come difficulty because it's an art form that amazing and that mysterious. If everybody starts teaching it as loosely as, in fact, I feel now it's taught very loosely, like on the internet and the courses out there. And I feel that's not right. Like if they ask me to teach magic, I'll teach party tricks. I'll teach things that make you confident. But I'm not going to teach you. I don't plan to teach or put up a course about how do you read minds or mentalism or the major things that make magic what it is. So then they did not teach me and then the struggle kept on happening. So interestingly, usually magicians train assistants. In my way, it was like the reverse. The assistants trained me.
Okay.
So we used to stay in Ahmedabad. Near Ahmedabad, there's this small village called Kalol. In Kalol, through some connections, research and all of that, we found this family where the man is the light technician.
Okay.
The light and the music guy, both. He was this one guy who does both.
हाँ.
Like एक हाथ उसका ऐसे इधर mixer पे होगा, दूसरा हाथ उसके switches पे होगा. The lady was the lead assistant in a magic show. And there were 2 sisters to the lady who used to be the other assistant, the other 2 assistants. And then the kids would do something in the show. And then their entire family, like uska bhai, हाँ वो पर्दे लगाने में मदद करता है, दूसरे लोग ऐसे, मतलब पूरा एक टीम था.
पूरा crew है.
Full crew. One family which is actually a crew. Okay. And my parents met them and convinced them to teach me magic. And again, it was not that easy. You know, they also saw कि कौन है, कैसे, why she wants to learn, and they understood our story, and then they agreed. And when they agreed, from that time, it took 10 months because it wasn't as easy as we thought it would be. कि magic ही तो करना है. No, it was too difficult.
3-4 card tricks सिखा दो फिर हो गया.
So here's another bit. I never wanted to do card tricks. First of all, my father told me कि school और party में नहीं करना है तो stage show कर. Like he was like, don't waste your time. If you want to do it well, otherwise don't do it. But he had this mentality for everything. So it was very clear in our mind, we're doing stage shows, we're not doing anything else. Even when I was taught card tricks initially, I don't want to do them. Or more than card tricks, it was these close-up tricks. You disappear a coin, make it appear from somewhere else. Things like that. I think I never liked them because, first of all, my hands were too tiny. They're still very tiny, but then they were even tinier. So I think my hands were very tiny. Second, I'm this Gujju Madhu in my head. I think, or maybe I'm just thinking, making it up right now, later on as I've grown up. When a close-up artist, you work on an effect for 3 months and that effect lasts for 3 seconds. Like if I want to make a coin disappear, I practice 3 months to master it, that it looks like that it's disappeared. And when I perform it, it's done in 3 seconds. I'm like, wo bolte na, investment and return.
Yeah. The investment for the return, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas in illusions, you work on showmanship. You work on lights. You work on where I'm going to stand and where are these people going to walk up to. And, how is I do this gesture and something flies in the air, So the hard work was very different kind of hard work, and I liked this more. I liked the drama around it more. So, and I understood different forms, different genres of magic very early on in my life. So I realized that I want to be an illusionist. My heart is being an illusion, and I always wanted to be an illusionist. Illusionist is the one who goes on stage, does larger than life acts. So that's how it began, and that's how these people taught me only those things that I was good at. But then I realized that in the process of making a 3-hour show, I will need to learn a lot more. So anything that my show demand, I would do that. And I did not know how to read and write. So somebody would speak the dialogues and I would just listen and remember them. Vapas bol, bhul gayi, vapas bol. Then we used to record them on cassettes. And usko fir main walkie pe sunti rehti thi to remember dialogues. That's how I learned. Yeah, after 10 months, I did my first show. It was on the 22nd of October, 1997, 25 years ago. And yeah, that's just history. Then it was everywhere. But what I really like about the journey is I very early on realized that आप किसी से भी सीख सकते हो. Literally किसी से भी. वो जितने भी लोग मुझे सिखा रहे थे, मैं स्कूल नहीं गई फर्स्ट के बाद. वो सब लोग मुझसे ज़्यादा, मतलब कोई 4th तक गया था, कोई 10वीं तक गया था, तो मैं किसी से मैथ सीख लेती थी कभी कभी. कोई मुझे कुछ आके समझा देता था. Like the person who pulled curtains in my show is the one who taught me maths. So it used to be a very incredible way of learning in childhood for me.
There's such an interesting insight in what you said, right? Because we're always told, if you want to learn something, learn from the biggest name in that space, or learn from the person most prominent in that space. But it's often the assistant, often the person who's worked with them through that, who actually knows so much, can teach you so much more. Like when you were saying, I was thinking back on like when I started off in production and in television, I learned so much more from the second sound assistant or the editor ka assistant or the guy who'd handle the tapes there and how to do that. Then I might have learned from the most senior person there. And that's also, I believe that's also, we have to treat them a certain way because you can learn so much from them. For more insights like this, make sure you check out the full episode.